Hi, I'm Shonda Miles. Today I want to talk to you about how to get what you want, getting what you want, how important it is to get what you want. And so I just want to talk to you about my preferred way to travel is by plane. It always has been my preferred way to travel is by plane. Even though I have traveled majority of my life by myself, my grandmother used to talk about when I was younger, when she flew, she talked about the turbulence. But since I had never flown with her or anybody else at this point, I didn't know what turbulence was. And so when I started to fly, I started to feel this turbulence, and sometimes, it could be scary. So a year ago, my husband and I flew to Hawaii, and the turbulence was really bad. And so even though the turbulence was still bad, I still flew to Disney in June. I still was supposed to fly to Puerto Rico in, I think, July. But regardless, it's still my preferred way to fly. Even though turbulence can be bad, it can be scary, flying is still my preferred way to travel. Even though I'm 2 to 3 hours from Dallas, or 3 to 4 hours from Dallas, depending on what part of Dallas I'm going to. And I would prefer to fly to Dallas. I'm 4 hours from New Orleans. I prefer to fly to New Orleans. So even though I could take, the car, I would prefer to fly. So my point is that we do what we want, right? I want to get to Hawaii, so I have to fly, right? And so even though it's scary, I still fly to Hawaii. And so just like I do this thing flying and I'm scared, we need to do the things so for example, me cold calling. So part of what I have to do is cold calling. And so even though I am scared to cold call, fear rejection, fear of failure, fear of success, all the things, fear, rejection, just you're afraid, but even though you're afraid, you still do it because you have to do it in order to make money. You have to do it in order to share with people the value that, you have to offer to help them solve their problems. So if you don't do it scary, then you can't serve the people that you've been called to serve. And it's all about if you really want it, right? Because if you really want to be successful, if you really want to meet your financial goal, you will do the work that's required, even though it's scary. Just like I flew to Hawaii. The turbulence was bad. I was scared. Just like that, then I flew to Disney World. So just like that, you're scared, you still do it because it's the only way, right? And so maybe cold calling is not the only way, but it is one way. It's an important way for me to make money in my business. So when you think about it, you start thinking about, okay, what do I do that is scary, and I do because I have to do it, or I do it because I want to do it. And just like that, you should be thinking about what do you have to do that you're not doing because you're scared, because you're afraid of the failure, you're afraid of being judged, you're afraid of being criticized. What is it that you need to do? So just like you do, maybe you sit down and watch TV, you watch a scary movie. If that's what your thing is. Maybe you do that and you do it and you're scared. Maybe you do the other thing. You call businesses, you pitch them, or you ask for the sale some other way. You sell your ideas to a group of investors. Whatever it is, you still got to do the scary things because you have to do them because it's one way you make money. And so just something to be thinking about as you kind of go along your day is that what are you doing already that's uncomfortable? Maybe something that you don't want to do, but you do because you feel like you have to do it or it's the only way. And then what are you putting off? What are you not doing? And even though it's one way or it's the only way, it's the most important way, it's the way you could really add more value. What is this that's keeping you from doing it? And then how can you see the importance? How can you set up these triggers where you say, okay, I fly because I want to, because I want to get to this destination. I cold call because it's one way that I can add value to organizations that I want to serve or people that I want to serve. And then as you kind of go about it. So the reason why I fly is because I want to get to the destination, but I trust the plan. I trust the process of the pilot. I trust their checklist. I trust God, right? I pray, and then I trust the pilot's checklist. I trust their process. I trust their plan of the airline. And then just like cold calling, I have my own process. And so If I have my own process and I have my own way of doing, I have my own checklist, pre-call checklist, cold call checklist, something in the process is missing. Something in the process is wrong. Something in the process is off, right? Because something is keeping me from doing what I know I need to do. So something in the process or the plan is wrong. So you got to go back and look at it and say, okay, this thing that I'm supposed to be doing, I'm not doing. So something in the process or the plan is wrong. Something about it needs to be tweaked, or I just need to do it and then tweak it as I go. What did I go wrong? And so some of it's just stepping out on faith, doing it, and then you can tweak it, see, okay, what do I need to do? How can I improve this? How can I make this better? What's tripping me up? What's keeping me where I'm not doing it? And some of it is looking at the consequences. Okay, if I don't cold call, it's going to cost me $10 million or $1 million. It's going to cost my family, my future, this $10 million. So you got to be thinking about, okay, what's the consequences of not doing it? What's the rewards of doing it? You want to look at how it's hurting you, how much pain it's costing you by not doing what you know you need to be doing, not doing what you know is going to help you live a better life. So when you think about things that you're doing already that's scary, that you don't want to do, think about what is it that you can do that you haven't been doing, what's keeping you from doing it. And, how can you do it? Because don't say you have to cold call or you have to do a thing. Say, I get to do a thing. I get to do this. I get to serve these clients in this way. I get to serve these organizations in this way. And as a result, my reward is $10 million. If I don't do it, then the consequences are I'm going to lose $10 million. And how do you explain that, right? How do you go through life with that regret on your back, knowing that it's two different things? One, you're traveling, flying, they got the turbulence, it's scary. One thing is you're on the ground, sitting in your office, you're making cold calls, you're just talking to people who some you'll never see, some you'll see just as 1 or 2, 3 times. You'll never see them again. If they say no, then it's fine. It's their loss. They didn't get to benefit you. They didn't get to see what you had to offer. They didn't get to see the value that you had to offer. But what if they do? What if they see the value? They see your importance. They see how much you have to offer. They see how you can change the organization. What if they do? And so we spend too much time building cases for things that won't work. We don't look at, this just might work. This might, they might accept me. They might want to hear what I have to say. They might be open to changing the way they do business or changing the way, they do a certain thing. So just something to be thinking about is we do what we want, and we gotta make ourselves do what we want in both instances, right? And so we have to, I believe in praying and trusting God. And I also believe that there is some stuff that we got to do on our own, that we need to do to give God something to bless, to attach our faith to, So we can't just be expecting God to change the situation and we're not doing anything, right? So we got to be doing some things too. So just something to be thinking about if you're not where you want to be, if you're not getting the results that you want, if things are not changing the way you want them to. This is some things you need to kind of consider.